Christian Mamas. We are 3 Christian moms with a progressive mindset and loving hearts and minds. We are imperfect humans, but we're all loved in God's sight. At some point, we've all felt like the church and Christianity may not have been for us, but God isn't looking for perfection. He's just looking for you.
We are not experts in Christian theology, and we do not represent any particular Christian faith or church. We are simply here to be authentic, and we hope you join us on this journey.
Welcome back to Messy Christian Mamas. This is Kendra.
This is Kaylee, sorry.
And this is Ashley.
So sorry. I was drinking coffee and I don't know why.
Haven't you had enough today?
No.
So, what are you ladies up to this week? What's going on?
Well, it's officially summer vacation.
Woo!
This is our second week of it. We took last week off. So we were at Midwest Food Bank today, helping out grinding coffee, which I smell like a Starbucks in the best way possible. Just like ground coffee. I got like a free coffee scrub on my arms. It was delightful. It was really fun, and we're definitely gonna sign up to do it again because Charlie thoroughly enjoyed herself. But Charlie's at a VBS this week. She's got church camp next week and a VBS. Then she's got our VBS, and then she has Legacy Camp, and then she has another VBS. Because every summer, she's a well-rounded Christian. At the end of every summer,
Nice.
Gets all the exposure.
Nice.
But yeah, just between that and being in the pool and work and splash pad and taking advantage of all the fun things.
Yeah. What about you, Ashley?
I've been a total workaholic, so Monday was my only day I didn't have anything scheduled, and then I still have all these meetings of things that just organizations I'm a part of that are sort of connected to school but outside of school. So I'm meeting 2 meetings yesterday and a meeting every day this week.
Oh, they realize that educators want a break.
I know.
Can you just come to me at the end of July?
I've done it to myself though.
Yeah.
Just saying yes to things. I need to start saying no. But they're
It's
all
good stuff you want to do.
They are. They're things I'm interested in, but I also want to just couch and watch TV and not do anything.
I understand.
Yeah.
I've also been a workaholic. I feel like I've just had so much going on in my church job that it's kept me very, very, very busy for the last couple weeks.
And now you have to resize everything.
Those new screens going in a church, they're going to look fantastic.
They are going to look fantastic.
But I had to resize and redesign stuff to make sure that they look really fantastic, right? So yeah, a lot of stuff there. We finally have a week off from leading worship this weekend, so it's second Sunday weekend, and so that'll be nice to have a little bit of a break.
Oh man, am I singing with Barb? I can't remember.
Right. I bet she would. I guess you'll find out.
I
bet she'd love
wait,
that.
I put that on my calendar.
I bet she'd love that. If you're not already, she would. I don't think she has many people. Anyway, doing
To check my calendar.
all right, talking
Anyway,
errands on the podcast. You're moms, you get it.
It's just like as you're talking, it will spark something. You're just like, oh crap! Did I?
Right.
Totally have one of those. Did I leave the stove on moments?
And if it's
I
on
don't
my
think so.
calendar,
I don't
it doesn't
remember.
exist.
Right?
It has to be in my calendar.
I was making my work calendar this morning because I have a planner. I've started using your planner again because I was putting stuff in my phone, and then I kept forgetting to put I like having a physical planner to actually physically look at. But then I have a work calendar that is up on my wall as well. And I was trying to figure out this morning. It took way too much time trying to figure out if I wanted to put all my personal stuff on my work calendar as well as my work stuff. And it just got to be very cluttered. And it's a massive 18 by 24 calendar, and it started to look cluttered, and I was like, oh dear God, what have I done? And there was so much highlighting going on, and finally I just stuck it underneath my desk.
Yeah.
This massive calendar is literally under my desk. I was 5.
Enough of that.
I'm having I'm just remembering now that somebody told me something and said, do I need to send you an email about that on Sunday? And I was like, no, I got it. And now I have no idea what it was.
Yeah, no.
I'm trying to remember who told me.
I tell everyone, I'm like, yes, and then text me 8,000 times about it.
Right? Someone borrowed my master key at church last week, and I went to use it. At one point, I was like, oh, I don't have it. Who borrowed that from me?
Oh man.
what was that interaction? Like, I had nothing. And I was like, wait, they said they'd put it in my box. Brad checks my box. Of course, he's like, no key in there. I go down there.
It's right there.
Guess what? There's a key in there.
Oh my god. Sir, I can't find something of staring at
It's like, did you check the one that said Kendra?
It's like, Mom and Dad, so my dad's been going through some heart health issues, and so they have done a major lifestyle change, and it's so funny because, like, I knew that they would take, like, I knew my dad was going to take it seriously, and I did not realize, like, how seriously my mom was going to take it. Like, our house has smelled like a fishmonger's for, like, 2 weeks. Like, they're doing the Mediterranean diet, so, like, they are taking it very, very seriously, which we really, really appreciate, because Dad is going to have some procedures done, which is scary, but, like, we're just glad that he's ahead of it, that he's had no symptoms, so...
He's covered in prayer.
Exactly, and because he took initiative, he didn't wait till he was short of breath or dizzy or anything like that. So all the doctors have told him that because he's not exhibiting symptoms, that all this work that's being done will prevent any further damage from happening and plus this lifestyle change.
Yeah.
But like the entire shopping list has completely changed. And like Mom got rid of so much. Like Kelsey really made bank, like, while cleaning out the cabinets. She got so much pasta. Like, Leland and Bennett are good with pasta for the rest of their life. So my dad was like, it's so expensive to eat healthy. And I was like, yeah, it is. It's really expensive, because they've only been, like, buying, like, they've really tried to stay away from red meat. So they've been buying a lot of fish. They've been hitting the markets for, fresh vegetables and everything. And I'm like, yeah, it's really, really expensive. But he was like, really wanted a sandwich the other day, because he's not supposed to have, like, bread anymore. He really wanted a sandwich. So my mom bought, like, this really expensive bread with, like, really expensive mayonnaise and, like, cheese and everything like that. And so she made it for him and, like, served it. And he wanted another one, and she was like, okay, well, you're going to have to go, like, make it yourself. Like, I've made you one. Like, I'm not making you another. And he literally stood in front of this fridge for, like, 10 minutes. I was like, Pam, I can't find the low-sodium cheese. I can't find the turkey. I can't find the mayonnaise. My mom literally, like, I watched her. She literally, like, shoved him aside. My mom's 5'2", my dad's 6'4". Shoved him aside and, like, got, like, all three things within, like, 5 seconds. They were all right there. And he was like, thanks. She's like, can you make it yourself? And he's like, I got it. I can do it myself.
So everybody pray for Kaylee's dad.
Yes, please. Yeah, it's just scary just because, it wasn't something that we were expecting. And we are glad that an event didn't cause all of this. My dad's had 4 or 5 people that he's known that have either had heart attacks or have died in the last couple of months that are all younger than him and better health than he was. So that has really caused him to kind of take the initiative. And but the other thing that sucks, because the way our insurance system works in this country makes no sense to me, because my dad didn't have any events that have happened. He's having to pay for all of this pretty much out of pocket.
Oh.
So, like, the stress test he just had was like $6,000.
Wow.
But if he had symptoms, if he had like a heart attack, it would have been more covered. So
now that they've discovered something, I assume the next step
it'll be covered. It's covered, but it's one of these things where if it was an emergency, it would be like they wouldn't have had time to, like, tell him it's gonna be this much. But because it's, like, ahead of time, they're like, oh, by the way, we're only covering this amount. And my dad has good insurance. Like, he doesn't have crappy like bare basics insurance like I have. So I was like,
medical care is broken.
It's just
really
crazy.
is.
But it's on the other hand of that, like, our cousin in England. Our cousin in England is having to get the exact same thing done, and is on a 7-month waiting list because of national health care. So I think it's just a system in general. Like, I just think between the insurance companies here, yes, we get our health care a lot quicker here, but we pay out the ass for it. And over there, you don't pay for it, but there's so many, such long waits for everything.
Well, and look, less kids are going into college because it's so expensive.
Yeah.
So then there's going to be less doctors, which will make for a worse system, right?
This is why medical tourism is such a thing. Okay, I'm sorry. I've tangented us very, very far.
That's why we need Doge. No. I'm sorry. On that note, so we have a new, maybe this will be a series, we'll see, but this is, we're going to look at some scripture today, and we're going to react to it. So this is from Proverbs 1, and there's a section of Proverbs 1 we're going to cover. It might take us a couple episodes, might take us one.
How are we going to react? Are we going to like a akya, niche?
What does that mean?
What? Remember Borat? It was like his show. He was like, akya or niche? Like, yes or no? I was like, yes or no? Is this akya or niche?
Okay, we'll have to do that.
Anyway.
You were young.
Yeah.
You were a baby.
And it was actually a different character. Like, it wasn't Borat. It was like somebody else.
Ali G?
Yes.
Okay.
Very offensive show, but anyway, fun.
All of Sacha Baron Cohen's characters are offensive, I think.
Right.
Okay, so this is a section of Proverbs where wisdom, we're going to talk about wisdom, and wisdom is personified, no surprises here, as a woman.
Well.
Duh! Okay, so, and we're going to read this from the Amplified Version of the Bible, which means a little bit of commentary, right, Kate?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, we're going to start right at the top.
It's not paraphrased.
Before I even get into it, the first footnote begins, before we even say a word.
Okay.
Wisdom is personified as a woman in verses 20 through 33 and speaks in the first person of godly wisdom. Read the word wisdom as the wisdom of God and see the wonderful power of this book. So here we go. We're just going to take it kind of line by line. Wisdom shouts in the street.
Well, I mean...
Akya.
Sometimes I don't know if that's true.
Yeah, shouting. Usually people shouting in the streets
are not wise.
Yeah.
I feel like the wisdom of God is quieter, right?
Well, unless you have one of these like Bible thumping evangelists that are like standing on a soapbox in a street corner,
Sure.
screaming,
Or an overbearing
People.
woman.
yeah,
Like,
like a nagger.
right? So, yeah, I don't know. Okay, so next line. She raises her voice in the markets.
Again, that sounds like a Karen.
Yeah,
I don't know, like, it's-
I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Raises her voice in the markets. Every time I hear a raised voice in a farmer's market, I get very nervous.
Market, or like, what about in like a clothing store? Ma'am,
Um,
can I get a different size?
I need to see the manager, and I'm like, oh dear Jesus, PTSD.
Okay, next. She calls out at the head of the noisy streets where large crowds gather.
This is interesting.
Yeah, right?
Like she's like the genie in the Aladdin parade. Prince Ali, fabulous he.
or is she like, is she calling them out? It says she calls out, but is she like,
calls out like calling out someone,
maybe?
or just calls out to be like, hey, I'm coming. Move aside. Make way.
Right? And I could see like
Make way.
having that conviction,
Yeah.
right, of the wisdom of God, if you're the head of the noisy streets.
Yeah. Why are we outside in the
I
streets?
don't know, it's interesting, right? Yeah.
With wisdom. I feel like I don't.
Wisdom
go to the
feels like a
street
quieter thing to me than it does like a
Yeah.
loud abrasive thing.
Yeah.
I feel like people that you feel are wise are that they're usually not.
It's like
Boastful.
Mother Teresa wise or like Gandhi
Yeah.
wise, right?
It's not like you don't find they're not boastful people. Like they're not loud. They're not loud people.
They don't have something to prove.
Usually
Yeah.
not politicians.
Yeah.
You know?
Generally, yeah.
Generally not.
And so far, this sounds like it's like describing a politician.
Very much does,
Yeah.
right? At the entrance of the city gates, she speaks her words.
Again, a politician.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like before you even enter, she's telling you.
Like a tour guide. And on the left, we have wisdom.
Or like think about someone who's like newly becoming a Christian and the things that they might come in contact with as a new Christian. When they're like, I want to learn about Christianity. The things they would look up and see of Christians sometimes scares me. Right?
Yeah.
It's loud, but that doesn't feel like the wisdom of God.
I don't feel like it's the wisdom of God. And I wish, I think of our bishop. I think of Bishop Eaton, Bishop Elizabeth. Like she's. So I think of our bishop, and she's so wise. And I think of Pastor Miriam, who's so wise. And they're not loud women, but they would be
gentle.
They're very gentle, and they're like, but they're so smart. And just listening to them, I can feel the wisdom of God just listening to them. Mm-hmm. And they are the two people that just aren't telling. But I think of like other, Christian leaders that I listen to that I respect and I think are really, really wise. They're not shouty either. Mm-mm. So
yeah, I feel like it's really hard to listen to someone, and maybe that's just now culturally. I don't know if that's a difference in time and culture now versus then.
Yeah, because I think it's even different. Like I've watched some very enthusiastic preachers, and I can appreciate their enthusiasm, and like I'm like, that's a lot of energy that you're exuding, and kudos, like your coffee game is strong, but like it's still to me it's just enthusiastic. It's just them being enthusiastic. It still to me doesn't seem like they're shouting and screaming. I feel like when someone's shouting and screaming something, it's to overcome other people, and to drown out wiser voices, and to drown out common sense.
Right, to get attention.
Yeah.
Where wisdom, it just feels like it's going to prevail anyway. So it doesn't need to get your attention.
I'll just sit here and wait till you fail. And then I'll sit here and just go, I told you so.
Right.
That wasn't going to work.
Okay, so not shouty, but like Nadia Bolz-Weber is very loud and abrasive. She was a former ELCA pastor that is in recovery, and she's like super edgy, and she's very interesting. She's not shouty, but she's loud. I don't know. I feel like she's pretty wise. Okay, so here is what she spoke at the city gate. So here we go. How long, O naive ones, you who are easily misled, will you love being simple-minded and undiscerning?
It's quite a thing to walk into.
Yeah. How long? Well, I don't know.
I mean, you just call me naive. Obviously, I don't know. If I was naive about it, then obviously I didn't know about it. I was happy in my little blissful ignorant state.
And like, it's interesting. There are several spots in the Bible that refer to being naive as like a shortcoming. And I guess in some ways it is, but also there's like a beautiful innocence about being naive. And wouldn't we all love to be a little less cynical and a little more naive about things?
I'm trying to think now, there are like moments in my life where I became not naive anymore, and it really does like bowl you over. Right. You know, like the first time my car was broken into.
Oh,
just that feeling, and you're like, oh, okay. Like there are people out there that are gonna break in and steal your stuff.
Like the second breakup I had, I was like, I thought I was only supposed to happen like once. I thought only like you get like one heartbreak and then that's it. And then it's like the second breakup I had, I was like, this sucks. Like, what do you mean? Like something I have to do over and over and over again.
Right.
This is ridiculous.
There's like no subtlety about it. They're like losing naivete.
Yeah, it really is like the ripping of the curtains. Like it, when your worldview is flipped upside down, and that's those
destroyed in some
rose-colored
way.
glasses are ripped off. And you're just kind of like, it's how I imagine Adam and Eve felt when they ate from the tree. Like, to just have that moment of perfect clarity of just being like, oh, like, this is, okay, what we thought wasn't always the case.
Yeah.
So I guess we can just blame them.
I
Blame them
think
for everything else.
the one that I think of is exploring my dreams, pursuing my dreams in New York, and then landing in a corporate job and feeling like my soul left my body for decades. You know, just felt like all of that kind of got ripped apart.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know if I love
Not necessarily if people a person telling me though that I'm naive, because I think like someone telling you like because as parents we're like, oh, you have no idea like what it is, and you're just so resistant to that. You're just so like, especially our girls at the ages they are now, they're like, you don't know what you're talking about. Obviously you know better. I don't think I've ever I've gotten probably a sense that maybe what I think is wrong, everything, but it's usually an experience that has to happen in order for me to realize the worldview.
I think this is like a personification of wisdom. It's like not actually like really a person.
Right.
It's just like saying wisdom is a person, but it's not really a person.
So what's happening at the city gates? So if it's not really a person, so at the city gates, it's, she's shouting at you. So just life experiences telling you how long
the wisdom of God telling you
how long are you going to live in the state of denial,
and how do you obtain the wisdom of God is, I guess, through experience.
I used to think of like a higher level of consciousness of like what's happening.
I'm way too tired for all of
I'm just gonna say below.
Speaking of our daughters, I posted this yesterday. It's I don't know what stage of parenting you're in, but I'm at the stage where I say, take your shoes off, please. And she says, these are boots.
Oh, man. Yeah.
You feel that?
I feel it. I feel it so much.
Anyway. Okay, back to it. So, how long will scoffers who ridicule and deride delight in scoffing?
I love that word, scoffing.
I know, scoffers.
It's
scoffing.
it's a good word.
It's a good word. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to go to the next one. How long will fools who obstinately mock truth hate knowledge?
Forever. I think we're still...
As long as there is knowledge.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
I think we've been dealing with that forever, and we'll continue to deal with it.
And it's so infuriating.
It is so
frustrating.
As long as power is currency.
Yeah.
Right.
You can have all the facts laid there, and someone will still try to tell you that 2 + 2 doesn't equal 4, and you're just like, oh, okay.
I worked with this lady when I was in college who told me that the song Fame was sung by Celine Dion. It's like, that's not true. And she was like, yes it is, and I was like, okay.
It's like you are entitled to your reality. I've got the real reality, but you're entitled to yours.
Oh, you're really aggressive.
I would love to hear Celine Dion's information sing Fame. Now, that is a cover that I am 100% for. But
that did not happen.
I do love like the hill people choose to die on. Like the sword that they decide to lay on. Like some of the things that people are just so adamant about, and I myself have been guilty about
I've
this
been that person.
because I guarantee like my sister and brother-in-law will listen to this podcast and be like, Kaylee, you are such a freaking hypocrite because you have literally sat there and like gone to almost punch someone for telling you that you were wrong about something, especially if it's something that you're so convinced is right and you're passionate about, and it's something that you love. For me, it's Harry Potter. When someone tries to tell me that I'm wrong, like we played a Harry Potter trivia game once, like Trivial Pursuit, and it was a book question versus a movie question, and the person answered it according to the movie, and I answered it according to the book, and we got into a fight about it until I went and got the book and opened it to the page to show that, and my sister and brother-in-law to this day have not let it go, because they're like, Haley, you're so competitive. And I'm like, well, we're a super competitive family. I don't even want to hear it, but
crazy competitive.
Yeah, I will, but it does make me laugh to, you know, as the older I get, I think the more, I think it's, you know, I put down my stone first, because the older I get, I'm kind of like, okay, I don't know everything, and like maybe, you know, but it is like,
again, too tired for all that.
Again with our kids, it is one of these fights sometimes where I'm like, I'm literally fighting. My 4-year-old nephew and I had a massive argument the other day.
You had a massive argument with a 4-year-old?
Yes, I can't even remember what it was about, but he was so adamant about it. I was so like, that's not true, and I was like getting so frustrated, and then it took myself putting myself in timeout and being like, you are gonna lose every time. You lost the minute that you started to fight with this 4-year-old. Like, you are a grown woman. You are 10 times his age. What the hell are you doing? Shut up.
JD's getting into this like thing where he just argues about the most like random things, and I have to just be like, okay. And he's like, Batman works at a flower shop. I'm like, okay. Okay, whatever.
Okay.
I just have visions of Batman. Like,
random things.
Put
Very
together
random.
a lovely arrangement.
I'm sure you would.
It'd be really moody.
Right.
Get those flowers.
If you will turn and pay attention to my rebuke, behold, I, wisdom, will pour out my spirit on you.
Wait, we say that again.
If you will turn and pay attention to my rebuke, behold, I, wisdom, will pour out my spirit on you.
Yeah, so that's learning from your mistakes.
If you will acknowledge
the
conviction that the wisdom of God is giving you, right, then I will make...
That's the argument that I'm having with Charlotte every day right now. Just accept that you're wrong and take responsibility. Like, it's not a problem. Like, but if you just admit that you made a mistake and you can learn from it, like, that's fine. Like, you don't have to die on this hill about this.
You'll never be in trouble for being incorrect.
Yeah.
You'll be in trouble for
lying
or getting an attitude, or those are the things we get in trouble for. You're 11. You don't know everything yet.
Yeah.
You're not expected to.
Yeah.
You're expected to be at a stage where you have a lot to learn.
Right.
Yeah. Just take responsibility. Like, I have to take, like, when I mess up, I have to take responsibility for it, and I have to learn from my mistakes. Like, that's just how you grow. Like, that's how you grow as a person. And I think that's one of the really frustrating things as a parent, that you try to teach your kids, because you're just like, because obviously you tell them all the time, you know, do your best, you know, do a good job, everything like that. So when they do fail, it's kind of this catch-22 that they feel like, well, I can't admit that I failed because you told me not to mess up. And I'm like, that's not what I meant. Like, what I meant was take like, you're going to mess up. So just take responsibility for the fact that you messed up. Like, it's not my fault is not an excuse.
Yeah.
Like, just, if you didn't know, you didn't, just say, I didn't know, and we'll move on from it.
So we said, if you will turn and pay attention to my rebuke, behold, I, wisdom, will pour out my spirit on you. I will make my words known to you. So if you pay attention, I will make knowledge known to you. I will give you knowledge. All right, next, because I called and you refused to answer, I stretched out my hand, and no one has paid attention to my offer. I don't know who no one is.
Yeah.
Like, because you didn't answer, fine. Then the consequence is I stretched out my hand and no one has paid attention to my offer. I don't know. That's confusing to me. But.
I think it's, you know, all the times that God has shown himself in the world and people ignore it. Like, miracles that he's performed.
He's tried to help. He's
and like the times that he has shown up for people and they've turned their back or they've ignored or they've justified
or called it something else.
Yeah, and so
that's
I think
a coincidence. That's not.
I think it's like you're taking the opportunity to glorify him, and instead you've turned your back. So that then has a ripple effect, and so now there's a ripple outward of people who won't get to experience because of it.
Yeah.
So.
All right, next. And you treated all my counsel as nothing and would not accept my reprimand. I don't know how you don't accept a reprimand.
You must have again.
Or maybe just like don't learn from it.
You don't learn from it, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Charlotte Grace does.
Or ignore it.
Yeah. Okay, I also will laugh at your disaster.
Wow. Wow.
You think the Proverbs 31 mother-in-law wrote this one too?
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
like that's an image you don't really like think of, like God like laughing at you. Like, you're a disaster.
You're like, I told you so. You should have listened.
You
and now
fool.
look at the pickle that you're in.
Wisdom sounds very codependent.
Super aggressive.
Right.
I will mock when your dread and panic come.
Okay.
This person was in a mood.
We're feeling it, weren't they? When your dread and panic come like a storm.
This is
Okay.
what this is Old Testament God versus New Testament God.
Right. Like here we go.
Old Testament God
Getting
was
into
like,
it.
you got yourself into this mess. I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna twiddle my thumbs until you figure out how to. New Testament God's like, okay, I'll do again. Here's my hand again.
Well, okay, I'm going to read the rest. This is verse 27 that we're on. When your dread and panic come like a storm, and your disaster comes like a whirlwind, when anxiety and distress come upon you as retribution.
Okay.
I don't know if I think God gives you anxiety.
No,
I don't.
I just don't think he also. I don't think he stops it either. I think there are natural consequences for.
But I do think
Your
if
actions.
you were wise, if you did things in a wise way, you'd probably have less anxiety.
Well, if you listen to him.
Yeah.
Right.
So we will save the rest of that for our next episode, but I know you guys are on the edge of your seats to
I am.
see how we wrap this one up. But we have some fun stuff to get to for AITA for our messy Christian drama segment.
Dun dun dun.
I know we need like some music here, don't we?
Like a cat screeching.
So this is from r/best of Redditor updates, and it was it was shared by direct-caterpillar77, but the original poster is Purple Fur Socks.
Oh, okay.
So there we go. And was originally on r/off my chest. So here we go. The title. I've been lying to my family for 25 years.
Ooh,
Okay. That's a long time.
that is a long time.
It's a long time,
How
right?
old is this person, I wonder? Maybe 50.
We'll find out soon, I think. I guess it's time for me to come clean, not because I feel too bad for what I've been doing, but because it's possible my eldest son is onto me.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
I have 3 kids and a wonderful wife. Uh-oh. For more than 25 years, our family has loved doing puzzles together. Ashley, I'm looking at you. Since we started, I've done something that may seem unsavory to people that don't understand the joy of putting in that final piece.
Oh my gosh, I just did this. So we've been putting together this bird puzzle, and the kids have been like doing it with me, but it's a really hard puzzle. And then they were gone, like I just went ahead and did the whole thing. And then I popped out 4 of the pieces, and I was like, there's 4 pieces left. Everybody put in the last piece.
Okay, to ensure it was always me, whenever we start a new puzzle, to ensure the final piece is always me.
Okay. He would hide it. He would hide the
Whenever
last
we
piece.
start a new puzzle, I take one of the pieces and hide it in a green sock that's at the bottom of my
dirty.
dresser.
That's dirty.
That was hilarious.
That mother.
That is not cool.
That's so funny.
It's diabolical. Right?
That's hilarious.
Whenever we get to the very end, we all, once again, lost a piece. We all search frantically until...
Been in like kept on for 25 years.
Until I'm the hero who finds it.
Oh gosh.
The fact that it took 25 years
I just, like,
for
threw
his
up in my
eldest
mouth a
son
little
to
bit.
like figure it out.
Oh my gosh. This person deserves to burn in hell.
Oh!
That person now needs to get his eldest son involved in it. His eldest son is the one who's in on it, and then he needs to be like, I'm passing it down to you.
Right.
And
Yeah,
give
you get
him
to hide
the green
the piece.
sock. He gets to hide it,
Oh,
so
boy.
he'll continue to keep a secret.
This next part has an interesting turn of phrase, but we won't stop for that. Well, this past Sunday, we got to completion once again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Only, this time, there are 2 pieces missing.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
We begin searching. It may be my imagination, but my eldest son
Oh, yeah.
gave me a look.
Yeah.
It was a half smirk. I think he's on to me.
Yeah. I'm definitely on you.
Derek, if you're reading this, I have more patience than you do. I'll hold my peace forever if I need to. Find, in quotes, yours first, and let's end this madness.
Oh my gosh. It's a Mexican standoff over puzzle piece. Hilarious. Oh my gosh.
So some of the comments,
It's a little weird that he and his son are reading the same Reddit. Like, I hope my kids don't read the same Reddit that I read.
well, we don't
Well,
know.
I
Like,
think he's just
random
putting.
Reddits.
I think he's just putting it out there.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
If you read,
He didn't tag him or anything.
Okay.
So one of the comments, the battle of wills have begun, and the poster says, he doesn't know what he's up against. Another commenter says, maybe it's you who don't know who you are up against. And the poster says, you never think that day is here. I know it's coming though. So, an edit.
This is so what my dad would do.
A fellow Reddit user PM'd me an incredible idea. I'm going to try and contact the manufacturer and order his missing piece.
Oh.
I'm going to find
Lord.
it when it arrives, then find mine immediately after. I almost feel bad when I consider how truly confused he will be.
This is sociopathic.
Yeah. It's a lot of work
This is
to
wild,
win
right?
an argument.
Right.
Thank you, Spock High on Spores. I guess that's another user. He's
Who
thanking
gave
for
the
that
idea?
idea. I don't think he's found this thread yet because he hasn't approached me about it, so this could still work. I'm so excited. This will go down in family history. Checkmate. Then, the following day, another edit. Well, folks, I've been duped. I got up this morning, went into the kitchen to get some coffee, and as I walked past the puzzle, I noticed that it had been completed. All pieces accounted for. I calmly and politely knocked on Derek's door and asked him about it. He denied knowing anything about it, like super convincing. I went down, back down to my
Gaslight
bedroom,
your dad.
Yeah.
Do it.
confused as ever, and
Just like just
sat-
the wife who actually knew the entire time.
Right.
She took both pieces and was just like, all right, you two.
She has the green socks.
Exactly. She's just sitting there on the couch, feet on the ottoman in the green socks. But what now?
Right.
And just sat, confused as ever, and just sat in bed with a blank stare. My wife asked me, what's wrong? And I told her that the puzzle was completed, and I have no idea how it got done. She literally started laughing like a damn hyena. I've always known about your dumb green sock!
Right.
Because men are dumb.
Right.
I'm in shock. I'm numb, like a damn gut punch. So as it turns out, she's known what I've been doing for at least 10 years. She said she loved watching me walk around thinking I was some criminal mastermind tricking everyone, and that's why she never said anything. She wanted me to have my win, while she secretly laughed and had her own fun in secret. I don't even know what to say. I'm just processing everything.
You
I
deserve
cannot
it.
believe
You deserve it.
she's had this over me for so long, and I literally had no idea. She noticed a decade ago that I had just one green sock since I lost its pair forever ago, and immediately knew something was up with it since I refused to throw it away. I guess that makes sense. I'm an idiot. Yes, sir, you are.
Yes.
See?
Yes.
Knowledge, admitting that you made a mistake, accepting the reprimand, and hopefully learning from
Wow.
it.
And now here, where we do prove wisdom as a woman, he says, I've come to the realization that she's actually the master here. It's her house, and I should be thankful she lets me live in it.
There you go. Bravo.
At least she promised not to tell the kids.
That's so
The end.
That's hilarious.
Oh, wow.
I love it.
Yeah, it's so good. He thought the sun was onto him.
It's such
Right.
It's such a wife thing.
Yeah, right.
So
Like, that's how
great.
people stay married.
Yeah.
Doing stuff like that.
I just love how the man thinks he's the mastermind, and the whole time she's Taylor Swifting it in the back, being like, okay, you go right ahead. You think you're in charge.
All right, should we pray?
Yes.
Okay, Kaylee?
Nope.
Ashley, you want to pray?
No, thank you.
Okay. Lord be with you.
And also with you.
Father, thank you for wisdom. Thank you for your knowledge. Thank you for the conviction that your Holy Spirit places in each of us so that we can help understand and know the path that you want to guide us down. We pray that you help us to hear that voice, that still small voice inside us, and know that it's leading us where you want us to go. We thank you for all that you do and all the blessings you provide. We pray all these things in your holy name, in the holy name of your Son, Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Messy Christian Mamas. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Facebook, and Instagram. Until next time, embrace the mess, share the love, and shine your light bright, my friends.